everyone, this is Jessica, and today I'm going to be creating this project using some of the supplies from the September 2020 Mixed Media Inspired box from Art Journal Junction. So as you can see here, I have my large dilutions art journal, and I've already pre-gessoed this page, so that's been gessoed and is already dry. And now I'm going to take the 4-inch gel plate that was included in the box and apply some Dina Wakley Media heavy body acrylic paints with my brayer directly onto the gel plate. So to begin gel printing, I'm going to lay down a stencil, and then using some scratch book paper, I'm going to begin creating texture directly on my gel plate. So as you can see here, I've removed some of the paint, then I've taken that stencil away, and I'm going to apply the gel plate directly to my art journal page and lift. And then I'm going to continue doing this with various colors until I'm happy with how this whole thing looks. So that was just using the remaining paint that was on my brayer, and I'm going to once again make a print on my page. And if you're wondering about any of the paint colors that I'm using, those are all going to be in the description below. I'm having a complete list of all the supplies I used. So once again, I'm just taking another stencil, and then I'm using my brayer to push it into my gel plate so that I'm removing some of the paint and creating texture within my print. Then I'm once again going to go directly to my art journal page. Now I've laid down a stencil, and then I'm going to apply paint with my brayer through the stencil so that the only paint, the fresh paint that's on this gel plate, is going to be the pattern that passes through the stencil. And then I will lift the stencil and once again make a print. And there was enough paint on there that I decided to do a secondary print as well. Now in this layer of paint on my gel plate, I'm going to take the Dina Wakley Media tools, and they're silicone tipped tools that you can use that will not damage the face of the gel plate. So I'm just making some marks into the paint that's on the gel plate there. And then I'm going to put that directly onto my page. Now there was still some paint left on the media tool after I made the marks the first time, so I'm just taking that remaining paint that was on the media tool and once again putting that right on the gel plate so that I have different textures within my print. Now you may have noticed as I'm applying different paints to my gel plate that sometimes I'm doing one solid color and other times I'm putting small dots of different color paints and mixing them together with my brayer. And this is so that I get different colors and textures within my prints. So I'm placing a stencil onto the gel plate, and then I'm going to flip that gel plate over with the stencil in place and make a print like that. So the only color that's transferring right now is what's going to be coming through the stencil. And then I'm going to remove the stencil and make another print. And this will have the texture of not only from the stencil, but the remaining paint as well. And there was enough paint on that one that I could actually make a few prints with it. And now I'm taking the remaining paint that was on my brayer, and I'm just going to do another layer, once again using the stencil technique as I showed previously, to only get the design through the stencil. and then removing the stencil and making an additional print. And as I take this last print here on my page, I'm fairly happy with how the coverage is going, so I'm going to move on to the next step. So I'm using here the Nouveau Sparkle Spray in Morning Fog, and I've taken the cap off and I'm just hitting it against my finger or my palm to create these speckles and dots. So this is a really fun product because it has actual really super fine glitter in it. So not only is it sparkling, but it also has the acrylic base so that it has color as well as the silver glitter. So I'm taking a piece of paper here that I had used to clean off my gel print in between prints, and I'm just using a roll of tape that I had sitting on my studio shelf and a pencil, and I just traced a circle out, and now I'm going to cut that out with my scissors. So this is something that I like to do, is to always keep scratch paper next to me because you never know how that could come into use, and there's no sense wasting product, right? So, and this is a perfect example that I'm going to be using this circle on my page. So now after I have that circle cut out, I'm just going to stick it on my page using Dilution's Collage Glue Stick. It's a really high quality glue stick that will not lift or crack as it dries or as it ages. So it's a really good quality glue to be using. And now I'm just going to take my pencil again and create an outline on my collage circle paper that I cut out earlier. And I'm not being very careful about this, so as you can see, some of it goes actually on the paper circle, some of it's around. I'm trying to create a very loose, sketchy look to this circle outline. So now I'm going to be doing some hand-drawn doodles using the Jelly Roll pen in black. And I'm mimicking the style of the doodle sheets that are included in this month's Mixed Media Inspired subscription box. So I'm just going to make some vine leaves in a very sketchy style. Once again, like I say, mimicking the style as you can see on this sheet here to the right. So I'm just going all the way around the circle, drawing curved vines with leaves. Some of them, the leaves are just barely peeking out from behind the circle, but it's mostly like a wreath effect is what I'm creating here. And I just kept going until I felt like the circle was filled in enough. And now I have cut out 5 different flowers from the collage sheets that are included. And I am going to just glue them in place once again using my Dilution's Collage Glue Stick. So these hand-drawn doodles are included in the box, but if you didn't like this style of flower, you could of course use your own ephemera pieces or draw your own doodles and cut them out of paper. So after all these flowers are glued into place and I'm happy with where they are, I'm just grabbing my color pencils and I'm going to color them in. Now I'm not going to show me coloring in all the flowers because honestly it's kind of boring. So I am just taking black and pink and a mauve color and coloring in the flowers as I thought it looked good. So every flower is a little bit different. And then I'm taking a darkroom door stencil, and this is the creativity stencil, and I'm once again using the Jelly Roll pen, and I'm just coloring in the letters to create words. So it's going to be create in this smaller font. And then I wanted to have the word art as the second one, but I didn't really see anything that was in the size that I wanted, so I actually took the word artist, but I'm only going to trace the first 3 letters of art so that I have the correct size that I want. So I'm just making sure that the stencil is lined up and it will be straight so that my words aren't wonky when I'm all done doing this. And I'm going to fill in, like I said, the first 3 letters of the word artist, so it spells art, so it'll say create art. And I just want to note that you can do this with any kind of word stencil. Make your own words. You know, you can edit words, you can take different words from different sections of the stencil and create your own quotes. Customize it to any way you want, and it also gives you a lot more use out of one stencil instead of just using it as face value, like here where you would have a block of text. And also it gives you a little bit more creative fonts to use, instead of just your handwriting every time. So be creative. See what you can do and how you can customize the supplies in your own collection. And now my page is complete. Thank you so much for watching and following along. I'd love to see what you're creating, so be sure to share your artwork with us using hashtag ArtJournalJunction. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Have a wonderful day.